Alright, trying to keep the flow going with GAC videos. Um, yeah, so like I said in the last video, I think that if you don't have exposure, long-term exposure to the markets by now, I mean, you're going to be a little bit late to the game, a lot of it late to the game. Realistically, you should have put into the market in March or April, or even May. But I do think that there are a lot of positive catalysts in line for first quarter 2021. So if you don't have exposure, you are going to miss out. Now, of course, that doesn't take into consideration day-to-day expenses. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, and you may not have money to put into the market, but um, one can assume that if you play this game or have been playing this game for years, you're probably doing okay. Because I feel like almost everyone has spent some money at some point. Certainly not to the levels that I and my Maw brothers and sisters have. But surely, if you've been playing this game since the release, you have spent something. And not for nothing, people that generally live paycheck to paycheck don't have time to play mobile games because they're probably working more than one job. So if you're listening to this, you're probably already better off than about at least 75% of the rest of the world, simply because you have the free time not working multiple jobs to play this video game. Unless you're a security guard, I would imagine there's plenty of downtime doing that. Anywho, um, if you don't have exposure to equity markets, I think that you should think about doing that. Again, for the third time, with the disclaimer that markets are very, very high right now. That being said, again, for the third or fourth time, I do think there are a lot of positive catalysts coming in the first quarter of 2021. All right, enough about markets. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. No. Mendo IG11 will be available this weekend. So that's fun. I finally G13'd my Queel. I did it free to play. I kind of like this release structure because I get about, what is it? I probably get almost 1,200 crystals. I don't even know the exact number, but I get probably around 1,200 crystals a day just from arena and fleet payouts and dailies and stuff like that. So bit by bit by bit by bit, I bought Queel packs with my daily allotment of crystals. I did buy like the $10.99 or whatever $10 pack it was for Queel, but outside of that, I did not spend any money to G13 Queel. The packs that they put out are, you're going to get 12s and 15s as opposed to 5s and 7s for what would be the same crystal price, so that is a very, very good deal. So a little bit more free to play friendly from CG, which is very nice. IG11 looks really good. If IG11 had a bounty hunter tag, he would be 10 times better. But that being said, or that notwithstanding, he still looks really good. He and Queel together, maybe you put him and Queel on a new look Kira, Vander, Chewbacca team, could make it a little bit more viable. Dunno, we'll find out. Queel could also slot in very well on an otherwise full bounty hunter team. If you put Queel, Grief, and Bosk all together, that is a lot of durability on that team. Of course, ideally, you'd want to put Queel with IG11. I don't think that an all droids team would be a great idea, but I think that an all scoundrels team could be very, very interesting. You put Kira at lead. Kira, Queel, IG11, Vander, Chewbacca, and one, maybe Cara Dune. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm a little bit more excited about Queel, based on his synergies with scoundrels, therefore bounty hunters. So I think I'm a little bit more excited about Queel, but I haven't done any testing with Queel yet, um, so I will eventually take a look. Gideon coming out soon too. I still think that that was a missed opportunity for CG to make him a legendary. I think that was a mistake, but hopefully we'll get a legendary or a hero's journey out of the Mandalorian series, like Beskar, Mando. Flick Flack, one of my long-time loyal subscribers, astutely mentioned that we were thinking or hoping something like that with the solo characters, and either one of Woody Harrelson's character or Jarvis, as I like to call him. But nothing ever came of that. That could be attributed to the fact that that movie was, for reasons that I think are incorrect, was unpopular. I actually really enjoyed Solo. I liked that there weren't any, in fact, Jedi or anything in there. So I kind of liked that. Same reason why I liked Rogue One. There's no Jedi really. The only lightsaber that's in there is Vader when he goes ham, which is awesome, but totally separate from, well, not totally separate, but mostly separate from the plot. Anyway, so yeah, we didn't get any legendaries out of Solo. I think Mando is immensely more popular and successful, so I think we will get a legendary out of Mando. The question is when and who. There are still a lot of characters that I would like to see from Mando, even though it is a relatively small cast show. I mean, everybody would like to see the Armorer, for sure. Everybody would like to see, well, I mean, it's not a surprise that she's in there because there were news articles about it. Whether it's Clone Wars version or any other version, Rebels version or otherwise, I think everybody would like to see Bo-Katan in the game. Bo-Katan is a really important Mandalorian character, so I would like to see either or both of those two. There has been some speculation that eventually we will finally see a Mandalorian faction. CG, if you are listening or watching, the people want it. Give it to us. We want a Mandalorian faction. Make it happen. Not that difficult. You already have half a dozen characters in game that could easily slot into that faction. And all you have to do, you don't even have to adjust their kits. All you have to do is make a Bo-Katan character leader and make her leader or unique ability something very Mando-centric. It's not that difficult. Like, whatever stats, the other characters give to specific factions, whether it's bounty hunters or scoundrels or rebels or what have you, just, there are ways around it. We really just need one character. While we're at it, give us Pre-Vizsla. I know their CG are off of their Clone Wars kick, but good lord, man. Clone Wars has so many good characters left that you have not touched upon. I mean, you gave us Cup and Mob Enforcer, but you can't give us Pre-Vizsla or Ponkrell. Like, come on, what are you doing? Ponkrell would be sick. Even if you don't give him Jedi or Separatist tags, just give him a shit ton of anti-clone stuff. That'd be awesome. Pre-Vizsla, Mando's Death Watch, awesome. So, I still think there are a lot of things that CG can do to make us happy, but also to increase their revenue. I mean, let's be real. Most of us are going to pay for shit like that. Most of us would be happy to pay for Mandalorian characters, Mandalorian factions, new good tunes. I mean, a couple of the last tunes that we've gotten have been really good. Piet is a great character release, great synergy. Gideon better have Imperial Trooper tags and synergy. Um, yeah, I think there are multiple avenues for CG to keep the revenue stream coming. Look, I'm not super thrilled about the challenge tier raids, but whatever. Recycled content, I guess, is better than nothing at all. I am glad that they are making the tank raid simmable, hopefully soon. So that's definitely a big quality of life improvement. Yeah. Really want to see a new raid, though, man. Really want to see a new raid. Waiting. Also, I really want to see Sasha Banks in Swigo. Don't know if she's going to end up being a major character or not. Don't care. Sasha Banks is fucking hot. I want to see Sasha Banks in the game. If you don't know who Sasha Banks is, Google her. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, so still on quarantine for another week. So I'm going to be losing what little is left of my sanity. Luckily, I have a balcony in my apartment. I can pop out there for a cigarette and pop out there for some fresh air, because otherwise I'd be going fucking stir crazy cabin fever in my tiny shoebox apartment, in which I have to stay very quiet because Bella sleeps during the day because she works the overnights. Hope everybody's okay. COVID numbers are ticking up. I saw something anecdotal on CNBC where the ICU beds in the Dakotas are overflowing with COVID patients, and yet still these patients do not believe they have COVID, think that their hospital visit is due entirely to something else. So I don't know if that's naivete or denial or byproduct of severe brainwashing, but listen, you don't really want to see anybody die, even someone that's misinformed. But COVID's over. COVID is a year old, man. I don't think it's a fucking hoax. I don't think it's a fucking joke. It certainly affects different people differently. But that's the same with anything. If you believe in science, you can go Google and look up that our bodies kill cancerous cells every single day. When people really genuinely develop cancer, it's because their body's too weak or too tired or both to fight it off and kill those cancerous cells. We kill cancer cells every single day. I mean, unfortunately, that's how you get child cancer. Your body, from the moment you're born, before you're even born, your body is fighting off and killing cancerous cells and not letting them multiply. So, it should come as a surprise that different people handle different diseases very differently. Plenty of people can get over a viral infection on their own. Plenty of people can't. Hepatitis. A number of people clear hepatitis on their own, unless they are continuously reinfecting themselves. Some people live with hepatitis forever. You know? So to think that, just because you had COVID and you're not dying, thankfully, that doesn't mean that other people will not die. I mean, come on. All right. Until next time.